بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم ونستعين وصلى الله وسلم على نبي الكريم وعلى آله وأصحابه أجمعين. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. How's everyone doing, inshallah? Okay, so as you know, every Sunday, Jamaica Muslim Center, we're having a Ramadan Essentials program where we're going to talk about things that will, inshallah, prepare us. আমাদেরকে, inshallah, তৈরি করবে রমজানের জন্য. We need to be in that mindset for Ramadan, inshallah. So আমাদের আজকের topic হচ্ছে zakat, right? It's about zakat, inshallah ta'ala. So zakat is actually very, very important. Just like salah is a rukn, a pillar of Islam, zakat is also a pillar of Islam. It's actually the third pillar. Allah Azza wa Jal mentions zakat in the Quran over how many times? Anyone can guess? 10 times? How many? Someone said it. 80 times. Over 80 times. Allah Ta'ala Quran বলেছেন atu zakah, atu zakah, atu zakah. Right. Kintu the problem is, you know, we have the tax system, for example, right? We have to pay tax every year. There's an enforcing agency there. IRS is there. It's going to come after us, audit us, or find out if we didn't pay zakat. But for zakat, for tax, for zakat, there's nobody there. So we are entrusted. We are our own IRS. We have to know what to give zakat and what to not give zakat, and who to give it to, who to not give it to. So আমরা রমজানের একটু আগে এটা করি because most of us আমরা রমজানের zakat দিই, right? Which is inshallah virtuous, বেশি সওয়াব মিলবে inshallah, everything is multiplied. But usually we are supposed to give zakat what we call the seed year. So what is seed year? So the first time you reach your nisab, আপনার লাইফে যখন প্রথমবার আপনার নিসাব রিচ করেন, that's it, that's your zakat date. But how many of us remember here the first day we reached nisab? Nobody, right? So that's why we just estimate, inshallah, on this day of Ramadan we will give our zakat. So before we get into the nitty-gritty and all the detail, after the Prophet ﷺ passed away, right? After the Prophet ﷺ passed away, কিছু কিছু মানুষ বলতেছিল আমরা জাকাত দিব না, like Musaylama al-Kadhdhab এসে বলছে zakat is not important. It was only in the time of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. So Abu Bakr radiallahu anhu, he was the Khalifa. So he went to the Sahaba, he was talking to them, what should I do? Should I enforce zakat or just leave it? Some Sahaba said it's okay, you know, let them be, it's not that, you know, we'll talk about it later. And no, Abu Bakr radiallahu anhu, he was a very soft-hearted person, right? He wasn't very aggressive or things like that. He said, no, I will not compromise on zakat. I will not compromise on zakat. He said, wallahi, if these people, they used to give zakat on a rope, একটা রশিতে তারা যদি জাকাত দিত নবী সাল্লাল্লাহু আলাইহি ওয়াসাল্লামের টাইমে, এখন যদি জাকাত দেয় না, আমি ফাইট করব, ওয়ার করব, I will fight with them about it. I'll go into war if they don't give zakat. That's how serious it is, right? And Allah says about those people, سَيُطَوَّقُونَ مَا بَخِلُوا بِهِ يَوْمَ الْقِيَامَةِ. Those people who don't give zakat, Allah will take that wealth in the day of judgment and hang it by their neck. This is what you hoarded, this is what you saved up, right? So it's very important. Now, the meaning of zakat. What is the meaning of zakat? Zakat means to purify, clean kora, pavitra kora, right? That's zakat. So for example, Allah says, قَدْ أَفْلَحَ مَنْ زَكَّاهَا. যে নাফসকে zakat করেছে, he's successful. Means what? Purify, right? So with zakat, আমরা যখন zakat দেই, আমরা আমাদের মালকে purify করতেছি. Why? Purifying it from what? Why is our wealth impure? আমাদের মানি তো ডার্টি দেখতেছি না, কোনো ডার্ট ময়লা দেখতেছি না. So how do we purify it? The reason is because the wealth that we have, first of all, it's not our wealth, Allah gives it to us. He says, وَمِمَّا رَزَقْنَاهُمْ. Whatever we give to them. So firstly, Allah gives it to us. It's His wealth. Secondly, Allah says, وَفِي أَمْوَالِهِمْ حَقٌّ لِلسَّائِلِ وَالْمَحْرُومِ. And in their wealth, there is a haqq, a right for the sa'il, the one who's asking, begging, and the mahroom, the one who's deprived. So whatever money আমাদের কাছে আছে, there's a portion that belongs to somebody else. Okay, so if you don't give zakat, we're actually eating somebody else's money, right? So that's why we have to purify our wealth by giving zakat. Just a couple of rules to remember when we give zakat compared to giving tax, for example. Zakat is a flat rate, 2.5% for most of our wealth. Some things like agriculture, there's 5%, 10%, depending on if you water it or if it receives rainwater. And then something like if you have a mining business or gas business, petroleum, things from the earth, that's 20%. So those are, none of us probably have those things in our possession. So most wealth is 2.5% fixed. But tax is not fixed, right? Tax is progressive. I'm not bracketed, right? If you make this much percent you give tax. If you make this much, right? So that's one. Secondly, zakat, we talked about it. Zakat is to purify your wealth. But tax is not purifying your wealth. You just give it back to the government to build the infrastructure and the economy. So there are two different things. তারপরে আরেকটা রুল হচ্ছে, you give zakat on what you own and control. You give zakat on that ওই জিনিসে যেটা আপনার মুলকে আছে, আপনার মিলকিয়াতে আছে এবং আপনার কন্ট্রোলে আছে. Two things very important. আপনার হয়তো যে মনে করেন রিটায়ারমেন্ট অ্যাকাউন্ট, রাইট? এটা আপনি ওনার, বাট আপনি তো কন্ট্রোল করতেছেন না. You can have access to it right away, right? Those who have. So just to give an example, you have to own it and you have to control it. So let's say you lost money in the ocean, right? Your money bag fell in the ocean. That money, you own it, right? But we don't control it. So you have to have both. You have to own it and you have to control it. Okay? And lastly, you only pay zakat on the leftover money. Meaning after আপনার যত খরচ আছে ফ্যামিলির জন্য, your cars, your kids, after all those expenses, your monthly debt, whatever you have, after all of that, the extra money you have left over, you give 2.5% on that, okay? Another thing to remember is that there's, in America we have the poverty line, right? Depending on how much you make, you may fall below poverty line, over poverty line. That has nothing to do with zakat. You may make $0 a year. কোনো ইনকাম নাই আপনার, তারপরেও আপনার জাকাত দিতে হবে যদি আপনার নিসাব হয়ে যায়, right? You have land at home, money sitting in your account. You don't give tax, but you have to give zakat. So these are a couple of different things about zakat and tax. Okay, so moving forward with that, we talked about, okay, so 5 types of zakatable wealth. 5 types, 5 রকমের zakatable wealth. Firstly, cash and cash equivalents. যত ধরনের নগদ টাকা আছে বা টাকার ইকুইভ্যালেন্ট, ওকে? ধরেন আপনার ঘরে টাকা আছে, আপনার বাসায় টাকা আছে, ম্যাট্রেসের নিচে টাকা আছে. You have a piggy bank at home. You have bank account, you have checking account, saving. You're not supposed to have saving account. But wherever you have money, zakat you have to give on it, right? Well, even if it's cryptocurrency, because you can convert your cryptocurrency into money, right? Or any other accounts, pension account, investment accounts, IRA, Roth IRA, all those things, right? If you can convert it to money, you have to give zakat on it. So number 1, cash and cash equivalents. Then, moving forward is business inventory. So those people who have business inventory. Meaning, আপনার দোকানের যত আছে, inventory, right? Whatever items you have for sale, those items you have to give 2.5%. Now, you have a lot of, let's say you own a shoe store, right? You have 500 shoes. You're going to give 2.5% of what? The price you're selling it for or the price you bought it for? Which one? You give the value of the wholesale market of those products. মানে এখন আপনি মার্কেটে এগুলা কত হোলসেল মার্কেটে কত দিয়ে কিনতে পারবেন, that price you give zakat on, right? Because কারণ হচ্ছে কি, let's say আপনার গ্রোসারি দোকান আছে, right? And you have a lot of grocery. আপনি কিনছেন, let's say chicken $5, right? $5 a chicken, you bought 100 chickens. But আপনি যখন জাকাতের সময় আসছে, ওই চিকেনগুলো নষ্ট হয়ে গেছে. এখন কি ওই চিকেনের আপনি জাকাত দিবেন? No. এখন তো এটার মার্কেট ভ্যালু কি? 0, right? So you don't look at the invoice or the retail, you look at what the wholesale market value is now. That's what you give. So that's business inventory. So some people may have homes, right? Let's say they buy and sell homes. Then those homes become business inventory. They're not renting it, they're just buying and selling. That's your business inventory. And at the time of the year, of the lunar year, when you give zakat, you have to take the value of all those things and then give zakat on that. Now, properties, taxi cab, factories, all those things. Taxi, do you have to give zakat on our taxi? No. Taxi is not a business inventory. You give zakat on the income of the taxi. Similarly, if you have a home and you rent it out, ওই হোমটা বিজনেস ইনভেন্টরি না বিজনেস টুল? আপনার যদি একটা বাড়ি আছে, ওই বাড়িতে আপনি রেন্ট করেন, রাইট? ইউ গিভ ইট আউট অন রেন্ট অ্যান্ড ইউ আর্ন ইনকাম ফ্রম দ্যাট রেন্ট। ওই বাড়িটা আপনার বিজনেস ইনভেন্টরি না বিজনেস টুল? বিজনেস টুল, ইয়েস। So that means ওইটাতে zakat দেওয়া লাগবে না। So what do we give zakat on? On the rent, we give zakat on the rent. Good. So similarly with taxi. Taxi is your business tool. So আপনার যদি any business, the tools you don't give zakat on, right? The tools you don't give zakat on, only inventory. Gudam, right? That's the word for it? Okay, alhamdulillah. All right, so, and then the third type, so we were talking about 5 types, right? 1 is cash, 2 is business inventory, 3 is crop, khet kamar. We don't have khet kamar, so we'll skip this one. 4 is livestock. Livestock is animals, goats, Sheikh. That also we don't have, so we'll skip. And lastly, ওই যে আমরা বলছিলাম মাটি থেকে যেগুলো বার হয়, mining, petroleum, those things. So most of us probably don't have that either, so we'll skip that as well. So that was zakatable wealth. What is eligible for zakat? Now we're going to talk about non-zakatable wealth. কি কি জিনিস zakat দেওয়া লাগবে না? So, firstly, আপনার personal যত কিছু আছে, non-commercial personal জিনিস, family use, personal use. আপনার ধরেন গাড়ি 5টা আছে গ্যারাজে, কিন্তু আপনি 500টা ইউজ করেন, ওই 500টা কি জাকাত দেওয়া লাগবে? না, as long as it's for personal use, no zakat on it. Similarly, আপনার যদি বাড়ি 2টা আছে, একটা এখানে একটা Texas, whatever, as long as আপনি নিজের জন্য ইউজ করেন, for family, visit, vacation home, no zakat on it. So anything personal, you don't give zakat on. Clothing, your homes, transportation, anything personal, no zakat on. Gold. So this one is very important. Very good. Gold. So gold in the Hanafi fiqh, right? So you have, for the sisters, you have gold that they wear every day. Every day gold that they wear, they don't have to give zakat on. But the gold that sits at home, in the drawer, in the closet, if it reaches the nisab, then they have to give zakat on. This is the Hanafi opinion. As for all the other scholars, other madhahib, they say that no matter how much it is, as long as it's for personal use, then you don't have to give zakat on. The only condition is it has to be average amount of jewelry, not like, let's say everybody in town has $25,000 worth of jewelry, but you have $100,000 worth of jewelry. No, that's not going to work. You have to have average jewelry. And second condition is it can be for business. Like you buy it, keep it at home, keep it at home, watch the market, and you sell it when it goes. So anyhow, most of us here are Hanafi, so if our sister folks at home have gold, shuna dana, in the closet sitting, if it reaches the nisab, they have to give zakat on it. And it's good. More zakat, more reward, inshallah, right? Good. So those are tools we talked about. Those are things we don't have to give. Property in public trust. Property in public trust. For example, মসজিদের অবশ্যই একটা ব্যালেন্স আছে। ওই ব্যালেন্স এটা তো মানে কেউ পার্সোনাল না, ওইটা হচ্ছে আপনার পাবলিক, ওইটাতে কোনো জাকাত নাই। সিমিলারলি আপনি দেশে একটা মসজিদ করছেন বা মাদ্রাসা করছেন, ওই অ্যাকাউন্টে যা টাকা আছে ওইটা কোনো জাকাত নাই। ইটস পাবলিক ফান্ড, রাইট? ইটস পাবলিক ফান্ড। অর লেটস সে মসজিদের একটা বাড়ি আছে, বাড়ি থেকে রেন্ট আসতেছে, ওই রেন্টগুলোতেও জাকাত নাই। দিস ইজ পাবলিক, রাইট? Charitable, no problem. Charitable, no problem. If it's for public good, public use, then no zakat, right? Similarly, আরেকটা জিনিসে জাকাত দেওয়া যাবে না, unlawful wealth. যে wealth haram, for example, for whatever reason, Then for whatever reason you got some unlawful wealth. Maybe আপনার employer আপনাকে দিয়েছে একটা 401k which has some interest and you had to take it, right? For example, whatever interest or something you get, you don't give zakat on that, right? It's not like I'm going to earn whatever I want and then just purify it by giving zakat. No, you take it out and you give it to fuqara, masakin or somewhere, right? You don't give zakat on that. Okay, so now criteria of zakat payers. So now all of us here, some of the criteria we have to meet in order to give zakat. Do we fit the profile of a zakat giver, right? Who are we? So number one, you have to be Muslim to give zakat. Non-Muslim are not going to give zakat. So for example, let's say you have a business, right? এবং আপনি শেয়ার করতেছেন, আপনার পার্টনার হতে non-Muslim. আপনাদের যত ক্যাপিটাল আছে, let's say it reaches নিসাব হয়েছে, রাইট? আপনাদের যারা ক্যাপিটাল আছে, আপনি এবং আপনার নন মুসলিম পার্টনার, ইট রিচেস নিসাব, ওইটাতে কি জাকাত দিবেন? নো, বিকজ হাফ মিল্কিয়া, হাফ ওনারশিপ ইজ নন মুসলিম, সো ওটা তো নিসাব ফুলি হয় নাই, রাইট? Everybody together? So me and let's say David, we are partners in a business, and the account balance right now we have is let's say $6,000, and that reaches nisab, right? So share 50%, আমি 50%. So is 6,000 কি zakat দেওয়া লাগবে? না, because half is owned by a non-Muslim. So zakat is not for the non-Muslim, only on Muslim. طيب. Secondly, reaching the minimum nisab. Nisab, of course, to থাকতে হবে। If you have $10, if your child has ED money, right? He doesn't give zakat on that, for example. Third criteria, 1 lunar year has to pass. 1 lunar year, right? Not Gregorian, not 2024, etc. Right now it's 1445. And lunar year has to pass. Okay, another thing. Does the person who's giving zakat, tara ki balig hua lagbe? No, they don't have to be balig. They don't have to be balig. Because this is financial. Yes, if you have money, you have to give zakat on it, even if it's baby. A baby inherited a big land or house, you give zakat on it. You don't have to be balig. It's not like other worship like salah or hajj or something like that. This is financial. You have the money. More examples of criteria of those who give zakat. Exclusive ownership of the threshold. We talked about it. Manish, apni, only you, completely has to have the nisab. Share partner, non-Muslim, we already passed that. Passage of lunar year, access to wealth. Access, this is again, we talked about it before. Apnar access থাকতে হবে ওই টাকাতে, right? Sometimes আপনি some investment account হয়তো দেশে বা এখানে, আপনি immediately এখন যদি কল দেন, আপনি কত access পাবেন? This is the one you give zakat on, right? Right? So for example, a Roth IRA or a 401k. আপনি যদি একটা কি বলে qualifying life event হয়, কোয়ালিফাইং লাইফ ইভেন্ট মানে কেউ মারা গেছে, বা আপনি প্রথমবার বাড়ি কিনতেছেন, বা আপনার হেলথ সামথিং হ্যাপেন, তখন তারা ইমার্জেন্সি একটু টাকা দিবে আপনাকে। Then you take that money and you take the penalty, tax, whatever else, whatever money you can get, you give zakat on that. So আপনার অ্যাকাউন্টে ধরেন $1,000,000 আছে, রাইট? কিন্তু আপনার 1 million তো অ্যাক্সেস নাই। আপনার অ্যাক্সেস কত আছে? মেবি 50,000 ফর এক্সাম্পল। আপনি ও ব্রোকারেজের সাথে কথা বলবেন, তারা বলবে হাউ মাচ ইউ ক্যান হ্যাভ অ্যাক্সেস টু রাইট নাও, সো ইউ গিভ zakat on that. If you don't have access to 5 million, you don't give zakat on that. Only all the way in the end.
Can I ask?
Yeah.
Ask a question?
Yeah.
Because, like personally,
Yeah.
because I have one Roth IRA or my IRA account. So what I do, I just speculate that after 40% tax, 5% penalty, I may get like 500,000. So I give tax.
Yes.
I'm giving.
Yes. So hypothetically,
Hypothetically, I'm giving.
yes, but you have to give it every year.
I'm giving.
Yes, alhamdulillah, that's good. Yes. And how about the rest of the money? All the way in the end, when you get all the money back, then you give full amount on that.
401k. So I don't have any access.
Right.
I don't know how much money is there.
You don't have access, you don't give it now.
But you know how much is there. You understand? Like 3-month 401k send you a statement. So what
Every quarter they give you, right?
What I just said, the Imam Sahab, that suppose I have 100,000, I make like 45%, because of tax and the penalty. Usually I end up getting $55,000. So what I am doing right now, I am
I'm just paying
on that 55.
on 55.
Yes, right. So 401k usually যদি কোনো access থাকে না, then all the way then after retirement, then you give one time, right?
What about the Qarzi Hasana? Suppose I gave
Good question, yeah. So, Qard Hasana, there's difference of opinion, but the one that the Assembly of Muslim Jurists of America, they chose is that আপনি যাকে টাকা দিয়েছেন সে জাকাত দিবে, not you. Right? আমি যদি কাউকে লোন দেই আমি জাকাত দেব না, সে জাকাত দিবে, বাট কন্ডিশন ইজ দ্যাট আমি তাকে বলবো না যে look just hold the money so I don't have to give zakat on it. যদি কোনো অ্যাক্সেস থাকে না ওইটা সেম থিং, অ্যাক্সেস থাকতে পারবে না, মানে সে এখন দিতে পারবে না আপনাকে, he really can't give it to you right now, then you don't have to give zakat on it.
আপনি মসজিদে দিলেন, এটা 1 বছর হয়ে গেল,
Same thing,
বাকি তাহলে দেওয়া হবে না।
same thing, আপনি জাকাত দেওয়া লাগবে না ওইটাতে, okay, inshallah. Okay, so now the nisab, right? What is the nisab? So in Hanafi fiqh is 87.48 grams of gold or 612.36 grams of silver. Everybody else is 85 grams of gold and 595 grams of silver. So right now, what's the amount? Last I checked was 2 weeks ago. The gold nisab for Hanafi madhab is $5,602.73. So 2.5% of that would be $140. The last I checked. Silver, $434. The amount you give will be like $10.85. For everybody else is $5,444 and $421. Anyhow, that's the nisab. No question on the nisab, right? We understand the nisab.
Estimated near about 6,000.
Yes. So last I checked a couple of weeks ago was $5,602.73. Right. Right. So the lower is better, right? So let's say 5,600. 56. 5 is good. Inshallah, yes, 5 is good. Uncle said I will take it. Okay, so, and then we talked about most of the wealth we have is 2.5%. Everything else we don't have. Let's say if we had some sheep or lamb or goat, up to 39 of them, no zakat. From 40 to 120, you give one goat in zakat, and et cetera, et cetera. Cows, buffaloes, camels, combining assets. So now, can we combine asset? So let's say, for example, you have $5,000 in cash, and you have 10 goats. Now those 10 goats are worth, let's say, another 5,000. Do you combine both to make your nisab? Depends. If they're both from the same category, then you can combine. But sheep and lamb and goat, these are not from the same category, so you cannot combine. But let's say you have 5,000 in cash, 5,000 in stocks, you combine. 5,000 in cash, 5,000 cryptocurrency, you combine. Jodi same category wealth hoy, then you can combine to reach the nisab. But if it's not from the same category, then you don't add. Clear, inshallah? Okay. Consistency of possessing the threshold. So this common question about next ashe is that ধরেন আমরা throughout the year, right? এক রমজান থেকে আরেক রমজান বছরের মাঝখানে threshold নিচে গেছে, from the threshold of the nisab, let's say it's 5,000, right? In the middle of the year, you lost some money, you have 1,000 only. So from that day, do you start over again another year? No. Right? So ধরেন আপনি রমজান মাসে জাকাত দেন, right? One Ramzan to another Ramzan. আপনার যদি নিসাব তাইকা থাকে for the whole year, on the time of giving the zakat, জাকাতের সময় আসছে, নিসাব আছে, you give zakat. কোশ্চেন হলো, মানে ধরেন বছরের মাঝখানে নিসাবের নিচে আপনার টাকা চলে গেছে, সো আপনি কি এখন ওই ডেট থেকে নতুন ইয়ার শুরু করবেন? No, right, exactly. So consistency lazim na. You don't have to have the whole year taka lagbe, no. At the time of giving zakat, if you have it, you give it. Okay?
Suppose at the end of the year I have 7,000.
Yeah.
So it was in the middle like 3,000.
Ji.
Now it went back to 7.
Yes.
So Ramzan time আসলে
Yeah. মানে হ্যাঁ, zakat time দেওয়ার সময় যদি থাকে, then you give it. And we also talked about before, it's not must that Ramzan time ইয়ে করতে হবে, right? But anyhow,
নিজের সুবিধা এই যে চাঁদ্র মাস
right, চাঁদ মাস এবং অনেক বরকত, all of that. And also because we don't know when is the first time zakat became wajib on us. When does zakat become wajib? The first time I get nisab is the day zakat wajib for me. But everybody, we don't know that, right? So that's why, inshallah, we just do estimation on Ramadan. Yes? Uh-huh.
It's on cash.
Yes, yeah. Right, exactly. It's when the zakat is due, that's when we look at how much we have. Even during the year, if it went down. Jewelry, ornament, we talked about already, right? So it doesn't have to be jewelry. Even if it's like gold spoon, you have to give zakat on that. It has to be 24 karat gold, not half, mix. You have to go to the guy and ask him how much is pure gold. You give zakat on that. Some people you hear have gold toilet, right? You have to give zakat on that as well. Yeah, it doesn't have to be jewelry. Anything gold, G. G. Yeah, if he has a valid reason, he can. For example, আপনি কাউকে জাকাত দিতে চাইছেন, রাইট, মান্থ অফ রমাজান, বাট জাকাত অনেক বেশি, সে সব একসাথে খরচ করে ফেলবে। আপনি তাকে ইনস্টলমেন্ট করে দিতে পারেন এক মাস করে, বাট আপনি ওটা ইউজ করতে পারবেন না। ইটস বেস্ট টু গিভ ইট রাইট ওয়ে। বারাতু জিম্মা, আল্লাহ, আপনি যদি মরে যান আল্লাহর কাছে দায়ী থাকবেন, রাইট? So, but if you have a valid excuse to hold it, you can hold it, as long as you don't use it, inshallah. Okay, so jewelry, ornament, retirement fund, financial instruments, stocks, zakat on stocks. There's a formula for zakat on stocks. We can talk about it later. Other financial, so some of the things are not even halal, like options, futures.
So for the ladies, they will pay zakat or the husband has to pay zakat?
No, she will pay zakat. She will have to pay zakat. The other thing about husband and wife, husband cannot give zakat to wife, but wife can give zakat to husband. Oh, so that's the other thing. We'll get to it later. Your ascendants and descendants, আপনার বাপ, দাদা, পরদাদা, এবং আপনার ছেলে, নাতি, ফন্তি, those people you cannot give zakat because they're your responsibility. ওটা আপনার দায়িত্ব, এটা জাকাত দিতে পারবেন না। বাট যে আপনার দায়িত্ব নাই, যেমন আপনার ফুফু, খালা, আঙ্কেল, কাজিন, হ্যাঁ হ্যাঁ হ্যাঁ, এনিবডি আপনি ফাইন্যান্সিয়ালি রেসপন্সিবল না, তাকে জাকাত দিতে পারবেন। Okay, inshallah. Throughout the year, yes, you can. Yes, you can. Throughout the year, you can give it, inshallah. Throughout the year, you can give your zakat. Zakat on loans, we talked about it. Uncle asked about zakat on loan. Mortgage and other payments, okay? So whether mortgage is halal or not, that's a different topic. Now, let's say you have a loan. You have $500,000 loan, student tuition or whatever it is. Now, do you take all of that out, deduct it, and say, I have zero, I'm negative 500,000? No. On the month of giving the zakat, whatever is due on that month, that's what you take out only, right? So on this month, I say, okay, I have my credit card bill this much, car payment this much, house payment this much, rent this much, I take this out. Not all 30 year, whatever it is, right? So that is the loans. What else? Agriculture, zakat. Now this is important. Zakat recipients, ke zakat nite parbe, right? Who is eligible for taking zakat? First of all, al-fuqara. This is the famous verse, right? Innama sadaqatu lil-fuqara wal-masakin wal-amilin. So fuqara, those who lack any resource. Kisunai, garib, miskin, everybody knows tara garib. Secondly, masakin. The difference key between fuqara and masakin. Fuqara openly ask korbe, masakin openly ask korena. And apni janen, they say they're needy, but they're not going to ask. So you can give them. Then wal amilina alayha, jara zakater কাজ করে, zakat collect করে, agency, তারা zakat দিতে পারবে, but not unlimited amount. There's a restriction. Only 1/8 of whatever they collect, they can give to the zakat workers. আর আরেকটা জিনিস হলো, যারা zakat কাজ করে, is preferable যে তারা zakat eligible as well. It's preferable, মানে তারা গরিব মিসকিন. It's preferable, but it's not mandated. So that's amilina alayha. And তারপরে হচ্ছে ওয়াল মুআল্লাফাতি কুলুবুহুম, যাদের heart, reconciling heart, right? Non-Muslim. So most scholars say it has to be Muslim. Most scholars say it has to be Muslim, meaning তারা নতুন মুসলিম হয়েছে, তাদেরকে যদি আপনি উৎসাহিত করতে চান, you want to give them gift, new Muslim resources, help them with rent or whatever. New Muslim, even if he's rich, you can give him. Most scholars say they have to be Muslim. Some say it's okay, non-Muslim you can give. وَالْمُؤَلَّفَةِ قُلُوبُهُمْ. Similarly, there are Muslim leader, তার অনেক নান মুসলিম ফলোয়ার আছে, তা আপনি যদি ওই মুসলিম লিডারের ক্যাম্পেইনে দিতে পারেন, বিকজ তার নান মুসলিমদের উপর ইনফ্লুয়েন্স আছে, right? He can influence non-Muslims to convert to Islam or whatever, right? Being a Muslim is a condition to take zakat, according to most scholars. মানে আপনার নেইবার জন, সে তো মুসলিম না, তাকে জাকাত দিতে পারবেন না, according to most scholars. So they have to be Muslim to take zakat. Those in bondage, slavery আমাদেরকে আছে আজকাল না, but there are some people jail, they're wrongly in jail, for wrong reason they're in jail, so you can spend legal fees, things like that, like Muslim Legal Fund of America, you can give them, right? The debt ridden gharimin, যাদের অনেক debt, সে মানে ডেটে ডুবে যাচ্ছে, he can't survive, you can give him. And that debt is due immediately, মানে এখন তাকে এই ডেটটা দেওয়া লাগবে আপনি। No, if they have no, so that goes back to whatever debt they have now. So whatever they have now, if you take that into account and you see how much they have left, if it's still above nisab, they pay zakat, right? They pay zakat. And this, the gharimin, the debt ridden, this also include victims of natural disasters. যেমন গাজাতে এখন যারা কোরবানি নাই, maybe they have some property, but at the moment they're affected, you can give zakat to them as well. Fi sabilillah, in the cause of Allah. Fi sabilillah, in the cause of Allah. This one is very controversial, but we'll break it down inshallah. Fi sabilillah meaning the path of Allah. Originally, it meant those people who are fighting physically, combatants in the path of Allah, mujahideen, you can pay them. But now, right, fi sabilillah, most scholars, and what I mean by most is World Muslim League, European Council of Research and Fatwa, Assembly of Muslim Jurists of America, all of them have said you can give in the path of Allah, meaning in masjid, schools, things like that, but only when they're direly in need. ধরেন ওয়েস্টার্ন আমেরিকাতে ইসলামিক স্কুল দরকার, তাদের টাকা রেগুলার সাদাকাতে হচ্ছে না, তারা desperately in need, you can give zakat, okay? But you will see scholars who say no, you can't. But I just gave you three fatwa body, government, what do you call it, central fatwa agencies. They say it's okay. World Muslim League, 30 years ago they said you can give. Okay, European Council of Fatwa and Research, they say you can give. In America, they but only যখন খুব জরুরি, direly in need, right? Eviction, stuff like that. Yes. So again, এটাতে অনেক স্কলারদের কি আছে, বিনিমত, right? বিনিমত আছে. It's okay, whoever you want to go with, you can go with, inshallah. Okay, in the cause of Allah, we talked about that. Wayfarer, Ibn Sabil. Someone is traveling from, let's say, Pennsylvania. He came here, and he doesn't have access to his money. Credit, debit, nothing. Even if he has money at home, but now he's traveling, he doesn't have access to money, you can give him zakat. Yes? But he has no access to money. This also includes refugees, political asylees, travelers. Okay, non-zakat recipients, those who cannot receive zakat. First of all, whoever is rich cannot receive zakat. Secondly, the work and earning capable. There's work, halal work available, he can work, but he's not working, he's just sitting at home. You don't give zakat to him, okay? Family of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, Ahlul Bayt, no zakat to them. But if they're also in dire need, you can give zakat to them. তাদের অবস্থা যদি খারাপ থাকে, you can give it. Renouncers of Islam, যারা ইসলাম থেকে মুরতাদ হয়ে গেছে, একবার মুসলিম ছিল, চলে গেছে, no zakat for them. Non-Muslims, ascendant descendants, আমরা কথা বলছি, বাপ দাদা ছেলে মেয়ে, you can't. The wife of zakat payer, so someone who gives zakat, right? আপনি জাকাত দিতেছেন, আপনার ওয়াইফ গরিব, সে পারতেছে না, এই সেই, you can't give zakat to her because I am responsible for her, right? Okay. Another thing, no maximum amount to give to one recipient. আপনি একজন, one category, বা একজন মানুষকে যে I can only give you $100, for example, or $1,000. There's no rule like that. You can give whatever amount you want to one person. But The money you give to him, if it's more than nisab, and 1 year goes, he has to pay zakat on it, right? Okay, inshallah. You don't have to give to all categories. You can give to whoever you like. You don't have to give cash. You can give kind, like food or etc. You don't have to give the poor people in the area only. You can give it to Bangladesh, Pakistan, or back home. You can give it on a monthly basis. Uh, no. If let's say your relative and they will feel bad, তাদেরকে বলতে হবে না that zakat money. It's okay. So again, uncle, if you want to, only if you have a legitimate reason, then you can delay your zakat. Like you take it out for some benefit, you see, you can delay it. Otherwise, you have to give it. Prepayment of zakat. What else? Death does not relieve. Yes. So, একজন মানুষ মারা গেলে, he didn't give zakat on his wealth. That inheritors, family members have to give zakat on behalf of him. What else that's important? I have to get to the airport by 7 and shall take someone. Authority to accept zakah. Muslim government can accept zakah. Trustworthy organization. Masjid also can take your zakah. There will be a representative. Individuals can also take zakah. Criteria for zakah worker. We don't work for zakah, so we'll skip this one. Rules for distribution. So if you give to Islamic relief, any relief, right? You can specify to them, I only want my zakah money to go to a certain category. And they have to follow that. Okay? So that's something you should know. It's your right. But if it's the government, okay, that's it. Yeah, that's all I have. Zakatul Fitr, yeah, that's on the day of Eid. We'll talk about it.
People delay so much that
Yeah, you have to give before Salah. Before Salah, you should give it. And zakat, this was Zakatul Mal. Zakatul Fitr is before Eid. Ji, uncle. Ji. Yeah. 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 No. So, no, the only condition is that the money you gave to him is not accessible to you, meaning he cannot give it to you right now. You're not liable for it. He's liable for it, right? That's according to the most correct opinion, inshallah. Even though the Hanafi opinion does say that even if you give debt to somebody, you have to pay zakat on it. But the Assembly of Muslim Jurists of America, they say that no, he should give zakat on it. Because you're already doing ihsan to him, right? By giving him some loan. So he should pay zakat, right? If he has the money, he should pay zakat. Yes. Yeah. Yes, not for all the 5 years, just for the current year. Yeah. Also, if you have some irregular income, let's say all of a sudden someone died in your family and irregularly you inherited money. All of a sudden, হঠাৎ করে $1 million আপনার ব্যাংকে আসছে because somebody died, right? The lawyer say give $1 million. So ওই irregular amount, ওইটাতে 1 বছর হওয়া লাগবে। ওইটাতে 1 বছর হওয়া লাগবে, বুঝছেন? Irregular. Huh? Yes, it should be matured. Yes, it should be matured. Irregular. Similarly, if you're a house you put on the market, as soon as you put it on the market, that's it. You have to give zakat on it, the market value of that house, even if you don't sell it. Even if you don't sell it. Ji, uncle?
Suppose to, my son has some cash money, but he is a student loan. He get zakat or
So, the loan, whatever is due this month, he can deduct from his money that he has. This month, let's say he has to pay $500. You deduct 500 from the cash money he has and give zakat on that.
he has a more
So,
amount as student loan.
yeah. So that, you don't count all of it together, just this month. Just this month.
Like home mortgage.
Right. Whatever is due on the time of giving zakat, that's what you deduct. That's it. Khalas, inshallah?
and another question like our school, Al-Muhammad school, we have some zakat fund
Mhm.
and there are some students they are
Mhm.
eligible for,
Yeah.
But whatever we say, we don't give it to the person directly, but fund available for needy
Yeah.
families,
Yeah.
and you can apply for it. They know it is a zakat fund.
Yes,
You
yes,
apply and you
yes,
get it. It is
yes,
okay.
yes, yes, yes. Okay, inshallah. Okay, well, and G.
That on the loan there is minimum due at case of minimum, or I may pay more. Does it affect on that?
So whatever you usually pay every month. What? So apni, you have a certain amount you have to pay every month, right? I don't have a mortgage. I don't know.
Yeah, you have to pay minimum.
Yeah. So whatever that amount you usually pay, proti mashe apni ja used to whatever you're paying, that's what you deduct, right? But of course, you can pay more than that as well. That you're not going to deduct that. The minimum apni every month is ja diya kore na beta, inshallah. We'll end here, inshallah. I have to go take somebody to. Jazakumullah khairan. It was nice seeing everybody and talking to everyone. Subhanallah, bihamdi, subhanakallah.